Okay, so we're going to work the gallbladder. What is just sitting, the diaphragm's here. The gallbladder's roughly around the second toe in, starting on the third, just below the diaphragm. So we're in around here. Okay, so that's your gallbladder. All right. And then we're going to work the liver, which is just below that, which is down in here. Okay, so that's that section 3, the 2 wee points that we're just after working. Okay, now I'm going to work across the stomach, which is right below, underneath this wee, under where the thyroid nut is. So it's the stomach is right below that, working across here. What I do is I also work right across and hit on the liver as well again. And I go back and forward. Stomach, liver, give it a real good work on the whole way across. Okay, we pinpointed the liver, but you can work it really well again. So that's the whole stomach and liver has got a good go. Okay, we're now going to go to the duodenum, which is basically just below that again. Okay, about 3 over. So a little pressure on that. You okay? Mm-hmm. Or your thumb, a wee bit more work on it. Either or, your knuckle or your thumb. If you were going quite deep and you knew somebody was used to getting a good thorough reflexology session and it wasn't their first time, use your knuckle. If it's their first time, be a bit more gentle because they mightn't be used to that. They may not like it. You have to find out if your client likes it or not. Then we're going to work the whole intestines. So just think of this whole area here. It's like a square. Just work that whole area. Going across, you can work it upwards. You can do it a couple of times as long as you cover it all. It's nearly like 3 down. 1, 2, 3 across, diagonally, as well. Okay, so that is the small intestines. Now we're going to do the colon. So we're going to start the ileocecal valve and work up. Just at the waist, just below the waistline, then ascending across. Okay, so we'll do that again for you. The pelvic lines around here, so it's just above that, and work your way up, just below the waistline, and ascend across. That's the bowel. That's very good. So we'll do it once more. Up, just below the waistline, and ascend across. That's your colon and bowel area. Done. Okay. Okay, so that's that section done. So that's number 3 on the right foot. So now we're going to go on to the areas of the uterus and the ovaries. So we're going to start, we'll start because it's the closest to us, the ovaries, which is on the pinky side. And as we said before, ovaries, the outside, and O, or to remember the male version, T for testes, I do T and O. I remember that it's T and O, the outside, to ovaries and testes. That's how I remember it. It's up to you how you go about it. So the way I always find it, this is your wee bony area here. Not everybody has as bony area, but you will get some idea of it or even touch it. I go halfway down. Okay. Heels here. So you go down is more to the outer of the heel, and it's actually quite central. So it's between the two. So between here and here, if you kind of get the middle, that'll be your ovary. How's that feel? Okay, like I said, you can walk it rotate it, and then just sit with it. And take a couple of deep breaths in, just so you're relaxing the whole system down and it transfers into your client. So then you do the exact same on the other side. And this is for the uterus. Okay, so from the little bony part of the ankle, halfway down, more up, not halfway down this way, but halfway down going diagonally. And sit it in the center. Yep, that looks about right. And that is your uterus. So you can walk it. You can walk it in different directions, circle it, and rest on it. Okay, and then when you've that done, from this point, you can either do both of them together with this other finger that I have sitting on this one, and then start walking up over the fallopian tube, which is up over the front of the foot, back round again, and you should land back on the uterus or the ovaries. Lift your hand off and walk back up and over the fallopian tube. Always naturally work feeling for any wee inconsistencies, any bubbling, grittiness, tenderness. Your client might give a wee oop, so showing that it's sore. And I also go back in over where the fallopian tube was and massage the two little dips in there. That's part of the fallopian tube as well. So that is the fallopian tube, the ovaries, and the uterus done. And that's in section 4. We're going to move now on to the hip, the sciatic, the sacrum, and all lower back area, okay? So again, we're going back to the ankle. This is number 4, the second part. We're going back to the ankle. So we're going to literally finger walk right round as far as feels comfortable for the stretch. Then you swirl round with a massage. Walk back round again. Oh, it's quite bubbly in there. Can't go any further. Swish round with a massage and start again. So you're not as heavy where there's bone. Anywhere there's little fatty tissue, a bit more depth. Swirl round. Let's do that about 3 times. I'll do it once more. See the wee fatty part? I'm going a wee bit heavier. You can see the indentation. And then I'm going round more bony part. Not too hard on the upper when you're first going up, and then you go into the fatty part and swirl around. Okay? And then we're going to do the same on this side. So it's the same thing. Go as far as you can, the reach, swirl round, finger walk up as far as you can reach. Massage round over the wee. Not too heavy here. This is a wee bit more fatty. Round. Finger walk. And round. Okay? So that's the end of section 4. You've done the uterus, the ovaries, and the hip area, the lower back area, and the sciatic. Okay? So now we're going to move on to number 5. So you hold like this, and you start the ankle bones here, so you start just down from that and you work from the edge of the heel in. Okay, and every time you go in, you're hitting at the sciatic nerve. I'm going to slide out, I'm going to move down a little and work back in again to another part of the sciatic nerve. I'm going to slide out and I'm going to move down, and I'm right in at the back of the coccyx and everything now, and working over into the sciatic nerve. Then I'm going to turn and I'm going to go from the sciatic nerve and I'm going to work my way right round again, round the pelvic. Okay? And then we're going to do the exact same on this side, we're going to work from here into the sciatic, slide out, move down a little, slide out, move down. So you're right in at the back now of the heel, the coccyx, and up into the sciatic nerve again. And then I turn again and come back and do one more swoop right around over the pelvic and sciatic thing, back to the sciatic nerve again on this side. Now we're going to go into our, you can pinch the sciatic nerve then because your hand's going to end up there anyway, your thumb and your finger. And what we're going to do then is do nice massage up into the calf. So it's in around the calf and a bit of a massage and then pull down. Do that about 3 times. Slow and firm. And then with the other hand, then start midway up the calf with the 3 fingers. Put pressure upwards into the calf and work your way down. And you'll find the wee bony part right down there and then slide in and do your sciatic pinch. Just let it sit there, the sciatic pinch for a while. And then what you can do is you can move the foot so it's pressing this thumb into the sciatic or finger into the sciatic nerve. And then this side. And you can do that a couple of times. Okay, so that is your number 5 done. No, that's number 5, part 1. Now we're going to do the muscular side. Okay, so we're going to start and we're going to work from the top of the shoulder, basically. This part of the shoulder here is where we're working, not this, which is, that's the back of the shoulder. We're going to start on this side of the shoulder and we're going to work our way down. Now you'll come across a little lumpy part. That's it there in Marissa. That's the knee. So what I want you to do there is walk up each side of it. Sometimes if people have sore knees or swelling this, and then do a lovely sweep over it. It's a wee bit funny that we need. Is there a problem with that one? Sore or anything?
Yeah, usually sore.
I can feel bubbling around that knee, so there you are. So now we're going to continue on down, and we're going to go right down. You can actually go right back into the coccyx again. You can even slide up and give the sciatic nerve another wee rub if you want. We're going to then turn and come back up. And as we're coming back up, this is all around the lower back area, the hip and everything. Give the hip, this is another like an off from this area here that also works the hip. This is another part of the hip. So give this part, which is basically right below the ankle, give it another work, which is going into the hip as well, especially if somebody's got really bad hip problems. And then back up again, continue in your journey up again. Give the knee another wee rub over the opposite direction and work your way back up. So that's the whole muscular side done. And now we're doing the bladder. We would better use that. So so the bladder is roughly
Let me lift it.
the bladder is roughly here. Yeah. So there's usually a wee fatty part here. Marissa's isn't too bad fatty wise, but you will know it, you'll get to know it. So we work downwards about 3 times, maybe more, depending on what the situation is and what you feel and how puffy, and maybe a wee slide out at the end of some of them. Maybe the third one that you go over, do the slide out at the end, okay? We're now going to find the kidney. So I get this right as well. So the kidney is halfway between the waistline, and if this is the waistline, okay, oh, that's very good. Let's see. Waistline, okay. You might draw the waistline in this picture. So if this is our waistline, roughly, okay. That's not coming out in the camera very well. Okay, it's better. So this is the waistline, okay? Just below the waistline is part of the kidney, and just above it. And you move in about 3 toes. 1, 2, 3, and go down. So to me, the kidney is here, slightly above and just below. So that's the kidney. So work it, pump it, give it a good massage, and then drain it down into the bladder. About 3 times usually. You can even start at the lower part of it if you feel you want to give that extra drainage. Okay, so that's called draining the kidneys. So that is now number 6 done. Okay, this one here, we've just done it. We're going to move on to number 7. So we're going to do the whole spinal area, which is at the big toe. Okay, so what we're basically going to do, we start at the top at the cervical here, and we work our way down on the bone. Okay, that's getting it okay. Thumb facing forward always, if you can possibly do it. Sometimes you have to go slightly sideways, but you're better because the wee pad of your thumb then can feel for anything that's unusual. Work your whole way down to the ankle bone again. Can you bring that over, Julie? And another bit, it's not showing, or lift it up yet. Yeah, that's perfect. To the ankle bone. And then we're going downwards. We're working down. You actually end up back at the sciatic nerve. And then from the sciatic nerve, we're going to walk down all around that lower back area and down into the coccyx. And then from there, we're going to walk back up to about 2 inches and then back up again. Always staying on this side of the ankle bone and back up. So if you can imagine, this is lifting up the discs in the back, going back upwards again. Okay, and smooth it off at the end. And then what I normally do is give it a lovely, as if you're massaging over the spine. There's another thing you can do, it's called air massage. You literally get the energy flowing, and you'll start to feel a little like a buzz of energy between, you don't touch the skin, you just go above it. And then you start rotating. Just tell me if you feel anything, Marissa. You rotate up the spine. It's energy. It's just basically energy work. Feel any, Marissa? Now you can. I can feel it. I feel like there's like a wee, like electric bolt, lightning from my pad to you. I can feel it. You haven't felt it yet. I'm gonna keep going. Just I wanted you to, I forgot to tell you, I wanted to mention this earlier. I can feel it very strongly.
Maybe only when you're coming around there a bit more.
It's just like,
That area.
eventually you get to feel it, you get used to it.
I think I know what it is.
There,
Yeah.
it's very strong there.
Yes.
Very strong there.
It's like
But
pulling it to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about that at another time, but that's your spine done. Okay, and now we're going to work the lymph. Back a wee bit, Julianne. So the lymph's quite straightforward. You go between each toe for your lymph. So we're going to work down. Do it a couple of times, maybe 3 times to keep it consistent. And then go to the next one. So you're kind of loosening the lymph. That's the idea at the minute, because lymph can get very stagnant, especially if we're not moving our bodies enough. And this area can be a bit on the tender side. And then I go back again, and then I drain up. So draining up is up and up in between the toe, and really almost you can see the red bringing the blood up, because that's bringing it to the upper part of the body and head and neck area, which is where you want it to go. And then any unnecessary lymph will drain out. And sometimes I give it a good rub like that. And up to the toes. And then just smooth it all out again with 3 nice strong solid strokes across, and then right over the ankle. And that's it. And then to do the toes, we're going to wiggle the toes now. So get a good, don't just hold the toes at the tip like that. That can hurt. You know, it's kind of not comfortable. Think of the neck. So you wouldn't want to take the head and dangle it about in its own. So think of this as the neck and head. I support the neck with this thumb and the fingers, and I get the whole toe. And then the rotate's very strong. 1, 2, 3. 1. It's like somebody's dancing and grooving it out, isn't it? 3. And then a wee tug and a nip, a wee pinch for the for the sinuses. Do the same again. 1, 2, 3, and rotate. A wee pull up and a pinch. And you go through the toes nice and methodically and slow, and you'd be doing this for your client. Don't do it too quick. You know, that doesn't feel comfortable. Slow and methodically. And then when you're changing, pull and a pinch, and the same. Don't neglect the wee one. You think, oh, he's only a wee one, I'll do him quick. Do that as much, because you're really helping the whole shoulder blade here. And the cuff, the shoulder cuff, and a pinch. Okay? Then just give the whole toes a wee shimmy. I always like to go back over this big toe at the beginning and at the end and give them a good rub. Okay? Now the way I also end every foot is with this, forgot about this today, is this massage. So 1, 2, go over the solar plexus, work your way down and pull the whole blood to the top of the toe. And do that 3 times. That's another nice ending. 3 times. Okay, when you've the third one done, you then can do your higgly-piggly, we call it, didn't we? And do that again. Oop. And then do your twist. Okay, and then let that foot, sometimes you can do, I like to do this because it's like a lovely ending. Like you're healing and you're soothing everything that's just been worked. And then you don't just lift off, you go off very gradual. And I shouldn't have this bracelet on. And you go off really soft with the last wee soft touch of your forearm. And then you cover your foot. So Start with that. This is how you tuck that in. And a good tight pull around, tuck it in, and then squeeze to give that wee extra comfort and hug to the feet with a nice hot towel if you can. Okay, and get ready to do your next foot.